Apart from the Isle of Man, is there anywhere else in the world which has 4 narrow-gauge public transport systems working in close proximity to each other? I doubt it. Although there are regular seasonal flights from mainland airports, many tourists cross the island by sea on the car and passenger ferries operated by the Isle of Man Steam Packet Company. "1973 was the centenary year of the Isle of Man Steam Railway, and we were there on the 1st of July to witness the celebrations. These engines, built in Manchester over 100 years ago, have suffered with the passage of time and shortage of spares, and some are now reduced to museum pieces. The one remaining line from Douglas to Port Erin, 15 miles long, is the longest narrow-gauge steam railway currently operating in the British Isles. The centenary special, the Colum Killie, arrives at Port Erin to an enthusiastic welcome, and there must be many in the crowd today whose hearts are gladdened by this sight. At the height of its existence, the railway carried a vast number of passengers, nearly 1.5 million in 1 year, as well as most of the island's coal and general goods. But times have changed, and the railway is now reduced to a tourist attraction. Even on this auspicious occasion, an element of doubt shrouds the future of the railway, which is said to be losing many thousands of pounds each operating year. And one wonders how long this state of affairs will be tolerated. This coach is reserved for the Lieutenant Governor and his party for the return journey to Douglas on this historic trip. In common with other stations on the line, Port St. Mary has arranged a function as part of the celebrations, and residents and tourists alike have entered into the spirit of the event with enthusiasm. Although simple in conception, the program is truly a peep into the past, and those taking part, wearing Victorian costumes, do not appear out of place in this little town, which perhaps is more in keeping with the past than the present. These nostalgic scenes at the harbour remind us of days gone by, when this spot would have been the centre of much local activity. But the proceedings must come to an end, and, as the train leaves, bringing this event to a memorable conclusion, we cannot help but wonder what Port St. Mary will be like in 100 years from now. Happily, since those days of uncertainty, the railway has been taken over by the government, and its future as a tourist attraction seems to be assured. The world's oldest surviving tram service dates back to 1876, having operated continuously with only wartime breaks. The Manx Electric Railway celebrated its centenary in 1993. We missed out on that one. It is Britain's longest narrow-gauge vintage tramway. The 3-foot gauge double-track line runs from the north end of Douglas Promenade via Laxey and then on to Ramsey, a distance of 17¾ miles. It still operates with the original rolling stock, and tramcars numbers 1 and 2 date back to the opening days of 1893. "18 trams and trailers, some saloons, and others of the cross-bench type are currently in traffic. Laxey is the lower terminus of the Snaefell Mountain Railway, which celebrates its centenary this year, 1995. Still operating with its 6 original tramcars, the railway crosses the main Douglas to Ramsey Road before starting its ascent to the summit of Snaefell, the highest point on the Isle of Man. The island is able to boast the only electric mountain railway in the British Isles. The one intermediate stop is the Bungalow, where the track crosses the mountain road from Douglas to Ramsey, part of the TT course. Some passengers alight here to visit the nearby motorcycle museum, worth having a look at. The line is of 3-foot 6 gauge, with gradients as steep as 1 in 12, and a center fell rail helps with the braking. During construction of the line, the steam locomotive Caledonia was used to haul the rails, etc., and a rerun of the engine was planned as a summer attraction. Here the engine is photographed at Bungalow in December 1994 for trials. An extra rail had to be laid inside the track to accommodate the 3-foot gauge of the steam railway. People boarding this tramcar will be privileged to watch Caledonia arriving at Summit. Something we would like to have done, but tickets were bookable in advance. This is the magic moment for us, the main reason of our visit this year. to see the loco manfully tackling the gradients to the summit. As part of the celebrations, Douglas Corporation, which owns the horse tram service, arranged a cavalcade of their horses and vehicles. The line running almost 2 miles along Douglas Promenade links the MER terminus at Derby Castle with the sea terminal, thus forming an important public transport function. Some 42 horses provide the motive power, and the 23 tramcars are fitted with roller bearings to ease the load. The horses are bred specifically for this service, and on reaching retirement, graduate to the home of rest on the outskirts of Douglas. Open to visitors. Bringing up the rear, a restored Douglas cable car of yesteryear. The cable system has discontinued many years ago. For its part in the celebrations, the steam railway opened its yard and workshop to visitors. It also arranged a special double-headed excursion train to Port Erin. As the tramcar starts its descent from the summit, it's time for us to reflect on what a memorable week this has been, and one which we shall long remember.